we're not usually such like salty Sallies, but like
Hello. I'm eating tofu.
and I'm making sure the bitch on my cup is legible because bitch.
We're in what, chapter 21 through 25 here of Lasher?
Yep. Chapter 21 is an MLF chapter.
Yup.
Which they're very interesting, I'm not gonna lie. She freaks me out because I'm just waiting for her to become a bloodthirsty sex machine. Because I know it's coming because that's what they are and that's what they do, right?
Well, yeah, but she's not going to get there.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Just so you don't have to like feel bad about it.
Do they kill her? No, don't tell me. I'm speeding through this bitch. Don't tell me anything. I'll use my imagination until I get there and discover.
We're almost to the end. But by the end of this book, we're going to find out what happens to Lasher and Emilith. So the next book doesn't have either of them in it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Bless. Thank you for putting me out of my misery. I was like, damn, I have to be with Lasher for another book, but that's fine.
Nope.
All right, okay. More excited to finish this book.
I just feel like what they do with Lasher is really boring.
What I've been saying this entire time, just pick him the fucking soft spot.
Well, like, they make him to be like this genetically enhanced, like.
No, don't tell me.
But I mean, I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm just saying, like, he's supposed to be like so formidable.
He's not invincible. Okay, yeah. He's just advanced, but he's still fucking squishy, and literally has a soft spot. He's not invincible, but nobody's listening to me when I keep yelling into the book. Kick him in the soft spot. So it could have been over sooner, but they don't want to listen.
Well, I mean, if they were just going to do what they do with it, they should have just ended it sooner, because fuck's sake.
No, seriously. Put me out of my misery. So in the chapter, Emily finds her way to, I guess, a black couple. She keeps talking about how small and brown they are. She's a big, weird, giant baby lady.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I wouldn't let it into my house, but
no,
that's just me. Because, like, wow, you're fucking strange. and like, naked.
Yeah, and she tells them that she's newborn, too, and they still just let her in there. Like, really?
Like, no, I can't. I'm not equipped to help you. You sit outside, and I will call 911.
I'll throw some towels out and then, like, call 911.
A towel, maybe sprinkle some Cheez-Its out there if you're hungry, but you can't come inside my home.
Oh, but she wants cheese and milk because she's a Teltos, and that's what they...
She milked Rowan and left her for dead under a tree. Let's not forget. She said, I drank all the milk, but I think mom's dying. Girl, shut the fuck up.
I also feel like there were some moments in this chapter where, like, her writing and her gaze, like, really, it was bad and icky. The writing style was bad and the gaze was icky, and I feel like she was able to do that because she couched it in this thing being newborn. But
it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's like
she's cheating a lot with age in this series, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah,
it's freaking me out. I don't know. All I got from this chapter is Lasher's a fucking joke because he's feeding her all this bullshit. Like, he says that we're by nature gentle and polite people. That's why people have always fucking hated us. And I'm like, where?
Yeah.
that to her. Is the gentle and polite people in the room with us?
Yeah, because you're out there exploding uteruses, bitch.
Literally, and sprinkling flower petals on their corpses like a psycho. What?
Something cooking.
Okay, but I literally, until this moment in this chapter, I thought only the witches could smell that.
Yeah.
But the brown people could smell it too, and I'm like, why do they smell like a Thanksgiving turkey? Why do they smell like something delicious cooking? What is that? Do they ever explain why they smell like
I think it's just supposed to be like divergent pheromones or something. I don't know.
that? I don't want a man who smells like meat
No. I don't want
cooking.
a man, period. But I don't want a man that smells like
Meat.
me.
But if I had to choose one, that's not the one I would choose. I
No.
don't have one. Oops. He doesn't smell like meat. I don't know. I just think she's really spooky. You know, when they ask, I think the wife asked the husband, like, how old is she? But they're like, how would I know how old she is? She looks like a big old baby lady. And she's like, I'm a newborn.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. But she's gonna go. She's gonna go to New Orleans and find Michael.
I guess I didn't see her as blonde. So when they described her as blonde,
I wouldn't have either.
I kind of thought that she was gonna look like that creepy lady from like The Ring with the long hair, the dark hair and shit. Like that's how I was picturing her.
But it's because I never picture Rowan as a blonde, even though she is one in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I don't see her that way.
This chapter is kind of just like a sneeze. I don't know.
It was just a breeze. They get back into the shits in chapter 22 with
Mm-hmm.
Nora and Pierce, and like it's literally like she can't give it a fucking break. And talking about how Pierce has always had like issues not being attracted to his fucking cousin because it's genetic to like your cousins and especially the underage ones. Like, why are we still doing this like 70% into the book?
And I called this chapter Incest War Room because that's what it felt like.
Facts. Facts. She's like, our mothers are dead. And he's like, wow, I love being able to see her legs. I can't. But they also name all the dead ladies again. All the dead Mayfair ladies. And then I remembered Liddy. But he couldn't remember
he couldn't remember his own weirdly named cousin.
Which is weird. Like, don't y'all shouldn't y'all be like teaching a class on relatives 101 so you know who is related to you so you can definitely want to sleep with them? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess this family, that's how they work. I was gonna say I have a lot of like second and third cousins that I don't know who they are, but I hope none of them are named Flitty.
I hope nobody's named Clitty. It's so off the wall.
It is, but all the rest of the names are normal.
Edith, Mandy, Alicia, Lindsay, Clitty. Clitty. Spelled Clytee. Clitty. She didn't run out of names. You just pick up a name book and roll the dice. Clitty's not going to be in there. It's not in any book.
This is like the first and only time I've ever seen that name.
Ever. Please, no one, if you find it somewhere, don't at me. Don't let me live my life in ignorant bliss.
Mona has grown up pretty much now. She's like wearing adult clothes and
even though they're a little bit big for her, but damn, she's still a budding woman that everyone is attracted to. I just don't understand. You have a room full of like half these dudes are lawyers, and I understand this is a mournful situation, but who's gonna let a 13-year-old who just lost her mother take charge of shit? Who? Where do they do that? She's 13. My niece just turned 13 yesterday, and yeah, she can make macaroni and cheese, but she's not in charge of anything. Especially if anything happens to my sister, child is shut down. She's
Mm-hmm.
defunct. She's non-functioning. Okay, I, an adult, would be non-functioning in that particular
Mm-hmm.
situation. My mom's uterus exploded and her bitch nurse didn't notify anybody. I found her. No, I'm not making decisions. I'm not leaving my bed. If y'all want to make a prayer circle around me so I'm not alone and Lasher can't get me, Mona's not scared anyway because she's like, I scared him away with the Victrola.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't make her qualified to like run the show. And just because Michael had took advantage of her, it doesn't make her an adult.
Mm-mm.
She's a child. I feel like every episode that we record, we're having to clarify these are children.
Yeah. Mona's like a very fucked up problematic character. Like
Yes.
the way she's written is so uncomfy.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm not gonna lie, every time I hear her name, I think of Blackwood Farm, which I really desperately will probably reread before we get to it because there's also a situation. I'm pretty sure Quinn is a teenager, and
Mm.
you know, there's also another situation there that's just it's just not okay. It's just, and I'm not talking about the ghost fucking because whatever.
Like weird things are okay.
Yeah, especially because that ghost is well, it's like his twin, but it's his age. I don't know. This book just has me very confused.
Not a lot to say about this chapter, really. It was just kind of like repeating everything, but this is like before they realize that Rowan is found.
Yeah.
Like, Michael's not here. What's up with Michael?
And Mona brings that up, and I'm like, not talk about Michael. But they like recount all these facts about Lasher. They're like, it's an individual, blah blah blah, and
Hmm.
then they're like, oh, he has a weakness. They're not even talking about the soft spot. They're talking about the way he smells. You can't hide the smell. All right, but anybody could be cooking dinner down the street.
Right? He has like a common like type of smell that they say he smells like, but like especially because like if it does smell like something cooking, right? And it's like not it's kind of like meat like, but kind of like sweet, but kind of like not a food you can describe. I don't know how many times like I've gone on walks and like somebody's like cooking inside a house and like I can just smell hints of it.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Like that smell is a dime a dozen. Like it's everywhere. So it's not really like a unique smell. And the thing about it is like I couldn't tell what they were cooking. I mean, I will say every once in a while I walk by my grandparents' place and I can tell my grandma's cooking lasagna because it smells specific, but
lasagna. I think the most hilarious thing in this chapter is that Randall points out that Lasher is targeting the most inbred members of the family, and I'm like, damn, and Mona was boasting about that.
mm-hmm.
I'm the most inbred.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done.
But she literally is. She's the let's see, Evelyn's not her grandmother, but her great grandmother. And Evelyn is the daughter of Cortland, who made her grandmother by fucking Julien. So that's a lot.
And we get into that in the next chapter, which pisses me off. It pisses me
Everything.
off. It pisses
Like
me off.
the whole thing, the way that he recounts his encounters with this child And then the audacity
Yep.
of fucking the angel in the prophecy. Who do you think the angel is, Steph? Who do you think the angel is? Who do you think the fucking angel is?
I don't want to talk about it.
It's fucking Michael! Fucking Archangel Michael! Michael the angel! Because she has been throwing Julien and all these other despicable fucks in our face the whole time to throw us off the whole Michael thing. Because Michael did exactly what Julien did, pretty much. He fucked a child that was also related to him. That's what Michael did. That's literally what Michael did. Michael, who is the angel that she is trying to paint as an angel. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. Don't tell me your incest prophecy and then call Michael an angel in the middle of it. Like, fuck you.
It's the incest prophecy is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, it's bad poetry, first of all.
It's bad poetry, but aside from that, like you're trying to make, like, you're trying to glorify and make this like almost romantic and like destiny out of something very nasty and embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing to read.
And,
even.
And instead of the prophecy being that Lasher is born and he dies, how about just not letting Lasher be born? How about that, for starters? How about we stop fucking our fucking nieces and granddaughters and all this other shit, like, as grown-ass adult elderly men? Like, maybe if we just, like, put our dicks away for 3 seconds, maybe we could just cut them off if we can't handle the temptation. There are literally millions of other people in the world that are of age. Go fuck them.
There's a really gross paragraph that I screenshot and put in my notes, but there's more audacity in this chapter. Because where the fuck does Julien get off judging Cortland? Not that I condone Cortland, because he's everybody's daddy grandpa. But he's popping off on Cortland without even asking him what the situation was, for abandoning his daughter and allowing her to be locked up. Oh, by the way, I also raped her. But fuck you for abandoning her, you piece of shit. Excuse me? What are you? What? Reading this was off the wall.
Yeah.
I needed it to be over. Literally at the top, I put Julien's story continues, but why?
Yeah.
Please end it or end me. I can't take it anymore. I'm done. We already know all this shit. I don't need it in graphic detail. I don't need to know how many times she snuck up into his nasty attic so that he could bone her. I don't need to know any of that. She's literally a little girl.
Yeah.
She's a baby. She's just a baby, and like, he's a decrepit old man on his deathbed.
Right. And he's like, oh, well, what, like, if I'm sitting there and cuddling her and kissing on her or whatever, which, ew. But, like, she's the one who, like, initiates it because she can't take it anymore. A child doesn't think like that. If you're
He
like,
literally says that he
yes,
makes her feel like she needs him.
yes,
So fucking gross.
disgusting. If you're okay, so say you were just sitting in bed with a kid, like a kid in your family, your child, your niece, your nephew, your grandkid, or whatever. You're just laying there. The child is traumatized because that's what was happening in the moment, and you're just like hugging them, cuddling them, trying to calm them down. There is no sexual anything in that at all. And the fact that he's like, oh, she got so fucking horny, we had to fuck. Like, really?
No, I've had to watch like copious feel good family movies like that very much highlight platonic love and like deep friendship love to kind of scrub this shit off of my body lately, because It's just so much, and horrible. It's just horrible. And then he knows that he's gonna die. So with his last burst of energy, he takes all these kids to a brothel.
Yeah.
Julien, the fuck,
Yeah.
the fuck.
The whole thing. It's just.
I put at the end. I put Julien made Lasher promise to protect Evie no matter what, and then he died. Good. Now shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Be dead, but he can't just be dead.
Nope. Because Michael is the continuation of Julien. Michael is Julien's.
But then we can't really argue that Julien's worse. They're both very bad.
They're the same guy.
Or that Michael's worse. My bad. It's just a big long line of terrible, and literally someone needs to set this family line on fire. Kill all the Mayfairs.
The only reason I hate Michael worse is because Anne will cut Julien's throat. Anne's not trying to defend Julien. This bitch is up in here calling Michael an angel. That's my problem with Michael. She's pushing this, trying to wash him clean when he is literally the same fucking sewer trash as the rest of them.
I don't know that even if that is her intent, I just don't think it's possible. I just don't. Not even just from my perspective as someone who is genuinely hating this book. I know there are people who enjoy this. I'm not sitting here judging those people, but I just don't even think that they could look at this and be like, oh, Michael's a good guy. Michael's a redeemable character. I don't think so.
I've had conversations with people that would surprise you.
I will literally don't fucking talk to me. You don't want to talk to me. It's not going to be a conversation. You don't want to talk to me about it. He's just not a good guy. And you can read a book and I admire the fact that these books are taking me on such a journey of hatred, of discomfort and anger. Is that the way that I always want to feel when I read a book? No. But there are some books I read, I tried to basically myself by reading 10 short books in December, which obviously didn't happen because the first one I picked is so dull. I tried to peer pressure myself to scrape through. It didn't make me feel anything. It didn't make me feel anything at all. And this book made me feel a lot.
Yeah. I feel like she could have accomplished the same thing without the child stuff. Like the incest. Yeah, the incest is one thing. Like I see where the incest plays into this, but as long as it's adults, I mean, it's gross, but
not my business. But
yeah,
you're literally making me read child abuse in graphic detail that is not for a greater. There's no good here. There's no for the greater good purpose, which arguably there's not ever one, but you don't even try. It's just for filth, and not a fan. And
I think that for me, it just the way that Michael is written and the way that the white knighting of Michael in this infuriates me so bad.
I support you
because it's just because for me, I guess I wrote Julien off immediately because for me, what I see in my head, I don't even see who I see is Aleister Crowley. That's who I see. That's who Julien is in my head. Because that's that trope, that magical fuckboy trope that and to me, he was written off immediately. I knew he was trash from the fucking get.
For me though, I also did, but personally they're putting me through way more of Julien's shit than Michael's, to be honest. And so I wrote Michael off immediately, partially because of how much you hate him before I even got here, but also because I'm he's stupid. He's just
okay. That's a good point.
Like, he's not fun. I feel like he is deeply a pawn in all of this. And Julien made a lot of decisions on his own. I feel
Yeah.
like Michael literally is stupid. And so he got suckered in here. He did. And he's terrible, but he's also fucking dumb. He's just a great expectations bitch who's good with his hands. And he temporarily wasn't because he couldn't touch anything. So, like,
Yeah.
what is he? He's a pawn.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. He is a stupid bitch.
He's a dumb bitch.
I do feel like to an extent though, just staying there was it was a choice and it was the wrong one. Like,
They all made terrible choices. All of them. All of them made just the worst choices. I feel like Alicia made the best choice to be an alcoholic.
yes. Or like, if I was fucking Rowan, just like stay the fuck away from there. Like, even if you come back and see what it is, like, get the fuck out, take the money.
Rowan is a smart, stupid bitch because she cannot. Curiosity killed the cat. She's that fucking cat.
Yeah.
That was made about her because she's too smart for her own good, and her curiosity factor will literally kill millions of people. Like, it would just decimate. Her curiosity is literally, Lasher could have escaped. He could have made so many babies and just ended the earth before somebody kicked him in his soft spot. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking stupid.
It's
Take
also
all your money and make Mayfair Medical and be a
right.
boss bitch. Leave the ghost alone, Rowan.
Right. Because it's insinuated multiple times, including like I think in 25, which that chapter was so fucking annoying because all it was a rundown of everything that happened before, but under the Talamascas.
It was a Yuri chapter.
Which I want to remind you though, before on that one, that Yuri ages himself about 30 there, and I just want you to put that in your back pocket for later on because Yuri is going to do some really fucked up shit, and I just want you to remember how old he is.
My eye just started twitching. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Okay.
But I just I don't know. There's just so much about this that they insinuate again and again that it was pretty much like the spirit had to be called in to the fetus in order for it to take possession.
Yes, they talk about in all the Julien chapters, they have to put the spirit into the body, and it takes a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
All just minded your goddamn business.
Yeah, so like she could have even had everything and just not let mentally. It has to be her brain that's the operant power here that let Lasher in.
This is literally a cycle from the beginning. They're all greedy assholes who want more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Stealing magic from culture, stealing black babies to put the thing inside. They just steal and they take and they take, and I mean ultimately, like, something terrible is gonna happen. That's all gonna culminate in some terrible shit. Greedy bastards.
I guess we should backtrack on 24. Michael's having a dream. It's what the fuck is the pics thing here? Like, I don't understand what she's trying to do.
I don't know. I just know that Michael was sleeping on the floor like a weirdo and nobody could find him to tell him that his wife was alive.
Well, it's because he was like channeling Julien or whatever. And then like Julien goes away and he's like in this dream state and he sees these pics around the fire. And the way that they had described them earlier in like Julien's chapters where he's doing this research is like, oh, perhaps the Taltos were from the pics or whatever. But obviously not, because they're just like these poop smeared guys sitting around a fire. So like what are we doing? I need to know the cohesion, because the thing is that she introduces a lot of elements, but I don't remember her like, pulling the thread through. That's all. It's just like
obviously didn't come across well because I didn't even write it down and I had no idea what you're talking about.
The one thing I do like about that chapter is the way that he comes out of like this dream sequence, and you can't really tell if he was asleep, if he was awake, what it was. It's just like
I was hoping
reality
he
is
was
kind of
dead.
melting. Huh?
Oh, I was hoping he was dead.
Me too.
Not to be a dickhead, but fuck. I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know. That Yuri chapter was it. It was interesting, but I don't really care all that much about him.
No. Well,
Um,
and they
so
kind of I think they introduced him more because he's going to play more into the next book. So that's really what we're doing here.
okay, well, this other guy who's like the beefcake of the Talamasca, because now they need beefcake,
Mm-hmm.
is just explaining to him everything that happened with
Yeah.
Aaron. Aaron, who's lost his mojo.
Breaking it down to us like we're in kindergartners as the readers, because we like really don't need to go back over this shit.
We don't, and she keeps fucking doing it, and it keeps pissing me off. I already read that shit. I don't need another POV. I get it. Unless that POV is Lasher being kicked in the soft spot, I'm ready.
Yes, ready for that one. Another thing I wrote down is more breakfast food. I think she writes in the morning because he's eating a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, she loves breakfast food.
Describing breakfast food whenever she can.
Which whatever, because like I love like anime food. There's like this anime cooking like with lo-fi music in the background on TikTok. I love that shit.
Yeah. It's like the one kind of palate cleanser I get from this stuff is like, oh, she's writing about this breakfast food again.
Yeah, yes. It was weird though, like in this chapter, like Eric is relaying everything and Yuri's like asking him questions, and at one point he's like Yuri, why are you so mad? Why are you so angry?
Yeah.
What?
This whole thing, the way that this whole interaction is set up just mystifies me, especially having read a little bit into the third book. Like, I don't understand what she's trying to pull off here. There's not it's like they're being so like he's like Stolov's not lying to him. He's not withholding information. Like, what's the angle here? I don't understand it.
I don't know. I feel like this could have been a brief little Booker flick chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what are you doing? Like with the doctor guy, those chapters being super brief, this chapter needed to be that.
Yeah.
Because they're third parties, okay? We have other parties right now that we need info on, girl. Not this party, not this breakfast party.
Which I think is it. She's pumping the brakes because she doesn't want to get to the end yet, but we're getting there.
I don't care. End it.
End it. End me.
End it or end me. I've reached my limit. Okay.
Same.
I said I wasn't gonna hurry up and read this book because I didn't have the time. Bitch, I made the time. We're finishing this. I can't do it. I can't. I just can't.
It's tough. I'm done.
God, we're not usually such like salty Sallies, but like
I've hate read a few books, but I don't know. This is one so bad.
it has like actually horrible content in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
like if these things were transpiring in real life, someone would have set the Mayfair house on fire, okay? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like someone would have done it.
Yeah, I mean, especially over centuries and like people disappearing and all kinds of shit. Like somebody would have burned that shit down. Yeah.
I'm just saying. Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Annegirls Podcast. You can find us on the internet at annegirls.ghostinthemagazine.site.